now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to our final but very informative speakers today. And it's actually a husband and wife duo team that are here to talk to us about content marketing and how that will make or break the success of your business, when to know when it's time to delegate it, and how it might be holding you back. So Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you both for coming today. Tell everybody who you are and who you brought with you.
Hi, I am Elizabeth Bennett. I'm the co-founder of Victory Marketing with my amazing husband, Joe. Hi. And we're really excited to be here today. We're really excited. It's our first time on this side of the cameras. This is great.
Oh, yay. That's right, because you do marketing stuff for people a lot. Okay, tell us a little bit about what Victory Marketing is. What type of company are you? What do you do? And tell our audience, who you are.
Well, we are a content marketing company, and we're just really excited about helping everyone be able to express what they are experts at and give them credibility and authority online.
Yeah, and we're entrepreneurs ourselves, small business owners. We've been married almost 12 years now. This weekend is our anniversary.
Yay, happy anniversary.
Yeah. So we understand the amount of work and the different types of hats that you have to wear when you're growing your business. And we just firmly believe that if you're going to be growing your business online, you're going to be doing some online marketing, that the number one way you can do that is through content marketing.
Okay, now let's stop this, because we've got a lot of people that are watching online. They may be direct salespeople, they may be entrepreneurs, they may own large companies. So let's first define what content marketing is. Okay,
so content marketing, what that really boils down to is taking the information that's in your head as a business owner, taking the culture of your business, and creating some content, whether it be blog posts, press releases, maybe it's videos. There's all different kinds of content. We can kind of talk through that some more later. But it's getting the information and the culture that's in your heart and your head out into the internet so that people can connect with that before they ever meet you. So they get an experience with your company before they ever meet you in person.
Don Peachy had mentioned the 1-hour business assessment that everybody gets as a member. And one of the things that I do when I'm doing that assessment is I Google them, I Bing them, I then see how easy it is to find them, see where they're at. Why is it important to be in all of these different places?
I would say it's about brand awareness. You've got to have so many different touch points. The average is somewhere between 11, 12 touch points with a potential customer before they're going to have that trust level elevated enough to be able to do business with you. So by doing, whether it's social media, email marketing, search engine optimization, all those different aspects, you're creating touch points. The best way to do that is through content marketing, because content gives you the ammunition you need to hit all those touch points.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, Don talked about the 5 ways to fail at doing business. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here. And I didn't prepare them for these, so they have no idea what I'm about to say.
There's lots of ways to fail.
There's lots of ways to fail. Okay. What does it tell you when if I were to find out, somebody told me about a company, I have a company's name, I'm considering doing business with them, and I Google them and they don't come up. What does that tell you about their business?
Well, I believe one of the things with content marketing and marketing in general is all about first impressions. So when you go and you find out that they aren't there, well, you kind of question, okay, how credible is this company? Do they exist? Are they behind the times? Why aren't they on Google? You look them up, and maybe they haven't blogged in a really long time, but they did maybe a year and a half ago. Often I find myself thinking, okay, so are they still in business?
It's funny that you say that, because I forgot about blogging. There was a period in WOAMTEC where I went a year without blogging.
We all do, absolutely.
It skipped my mind. And I got an email from somebody saying, I noticed that you haven't posted a blog in a year. Is WOAMTEC still in business? And I was like,
it's the instant panic feeling oh yes, we're still here, absolutely. And so those first impressions are so important, and creating an ongoing authority. I mean, everyone is wanting to know who is the expert in this field. So if you're researching photography, you want to know who's the best photographer. Yes, with photography, it's easy. You can just go to Jeff's website, of course, obviously. But because you can see a visible portfolio, and you can see if you connect with their style of photography. However, with other things that are more intangible, whether that's a product or a service or an idea, you have to really communicate, like Joe was saying, what's the culture you want to communicate? Because people want to connect with people, and they want to connect and buy into a culture before they buy or become a customer. So that's what content marketing is really all about.
I think that's important too, and you don't want to just be there, just throwing
Right.
stuff out, because I think that's
Right.
the other mistake that a lot of people make is they
Or it's
just
not
say
valuable. Yeah.
they're not strategically thinking about what they're posting on Facebook or what they're doing on pinning on Pinterest or whatever, or what they're blogging about.
Absolutely.
You know, I just recently had somebody that is in business that is wanting to get into doing speaking in business, and she was blogging about something that was really personal that would maybe appeal to a younger demographic, but that's not the
Right.
she was missing the boat in that. So
Yeah.
what I have found is a couple of things. Some of the people that are online that are watching right now have smaller businesses. You know, really, it's their one-man shops, one-women shows, sorry, and they're smaller businesses. They may be sitting there saying, you know, I can't do it all. I can't
Absolutely.
keep up with it all. Or they may be saying, I can't afford to hire somebody. Let's talk just for a moment on why somebody would hire your company, so we can analyze when is it time to delegate.
Absolutely.
And is it smart for you to be the one doing it all?
Yeah,
Joe, what do you think?
The thing with this business is that things move really quickly. So like in the last 6 months, we see changes happen to Facebook, to Google, the way that they calculate search engine rankings. So if this isn't the thing you do day in and day out, there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with those things. So we know when new things come out that can be advantageous to a business owner, that can help them be able to utilize those tools that are there to make their digital marketing efforts stronger. So that's one way that just hiring a team helps. The other one is it makes you stay more sane, because it's a lot of stuff.
time.
You know, if you think about the statistics say that if you blog daily, so if you're giving some piece of information out daily, that you have a much higher chance of sales. But if you do like twice a day, for example, that's too much. It starts going down. So like you were saying before, some people don't know how much, how little. And so it's either that you start to educate yourself and you start to gain this knowledge and understanding, and you're willing to wear that hat for a time. Like I said, you know, we're entrepreneurs. We understand that there is a need for all these hats that people wear.
Lots of juggling, right?
But there comes a time where things get busy and you say, you know what, I just need to hand this off. So I think one of the ways that you can start to see that happening is when you're able to create a budget for marketing, which is a big deal. You know, you can say, okay, now I can section off this much to be able to grow my business. When you can do that, then you can work with somebody like us and say, here's how much I've got, what can I do?
Okay.
And then there are ways to work within that, because we want to be able to create a plan for you to be able to share that information within that budget, but you can work with someone to get those. We can get that culture from you and communicate for you. So you can work with the team. You know, you don't have to be scared to do that you're going to lose your voice.
Right.
So there does come a balance, but you can start to tell. I always like to think about hire when it hurts.
Yeah.
So when it starts hurting you to do that, whether it's losing time with your family or you start to freak out stress-wise, or
you're not getting it done. Like I reached out to you about the
Exactly,
conference because
yeah.
it's like we could use some assistance. And even though we're planning this big national conference, everything I normally do every other day of the year still has
Absolutely.
to happen.
It has to happen anyway. Absolutely.
So
Things
knowing
don't
when to
slow
do that.
down when you throw another pie in the pan. It just keeps going.
yeah.
So if they're like Gina Mounts, for example, she's a realtor in North Carolina. If she's online, she's probably sitting there saying, and Gina, I don't know, girlfriend, if you have a blog or not. Sorry if I should know that. But if she doesn't have a blog, she might be sitting here saying, why do I need a blog? What does a
Right.
realtor need a blog for?
The why question is a big thing. A lot of this stuff can be complicated, and there are a lot of pieces to this, a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
So we like to boil it down to principles. So a principle, for example, is that the internet is really just a big ball of information. Okay, so the people that share the best information the most often are going to win. So that's a principle. So that's why. Like, why should you have a blog? Well, because the person who shares the most information, the best information, is going to win. Because that fits into Google's, and I just refer to Google because they're the market leader.
I know Tanya's probably cringing. Her
Yeah.
husband works for Microsoft. She's like, Bing, say Bing.
I was gonna say, this goes across the board with Bing or Yahoo or anything else.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're in the business of connecting the information seekers with the information providers. So if you're sharing great information, they have all these different complicated ways, which we don't have enough time to cover, to pick up and see that. Facebook, all about sharing information.
Right.
It's information from your friends, but where are they grabbing that information from? Facebook's trying to identify who's sharing the best information.
Right.
So as a realtor, if that realtor is sharing great information about houses they're showing or what's it like to the process to go through buying a house, valuable
Absolutely.
information. That's really the reason why, from a principal standpoint.
Right. You have to do some of these things. I think that's really critical and really important. And, you know, going back to the, are you doing revenue generating activities, or are you spending too much time behind Facebook with haphazardly posting without a lot of logic and without a strong marketing structure, where you could be selling a house? You know, it may make sense to delegate this marketing piece so you're out showing property, because you're going to make a whole lot more money showing property than you probably would be paying them to do these marketing pieces. And am I right by saying you have, it's not just the two of you, like you bring in independent contractors for
We have a full
certain
staff.
tasks? Okay, okay.
Yeah, we have a full staff, and it's both based here in Central Florida, but also we all across the country have an amazing team. Shout out to everybody, you're amazing. We couldn't do it without them. And because, like Joe was saying, how quickly and rapidly things are changing, we have part of our staff is focused on nerding out on the latest changes. So we have, just us, we can't do it all ourselves. We have to have a team of support to help us keep on the leading edge of what's happening, what's changing, because it's constant, it's constantly moving. And I wanted to touch on something else, because all of these things are simple. You can do them yourself, but the key is consistency, being very consistent, and starting out, like you were saying, you need to have a plan. You need to have your big picture. How does this fit into your vision? What is the culture that you want to identify and communicate, and how do you get there? And so and then coming back to, okay, I can blog once a week, or maybe I need to just get a strategy in place to just be very consistent with what you're doing.
I think that's awesome. And just start having that plan, and even maybe talking to you to create a dialogue on what that plan should look like one day, because, you know, if you don't know where you're going, there's no way to get there. So you might not be ready to hire them today, but if you can talk to them so you know what you're working towards, then you can start slowly and hopefully increase your revenue. So a year from now or 2 years from now, you'll be at the point where you can delegate it all, you know, but don't wait. And also don't think that maybe your solution is hiring a marketing consultant, because part of the reason I asked you, do you have a team of independent contractors? I took a guess at that, but I asked you that because somebody that's good at blogging might not be somebody good with Pinterest, you know, or with search engine tags for YouTube or whatever, all of those different things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the way we work is that Elizabeth and I handle kind of like the client interaction, where we set direction. But then we kind of have this layered approach where we have people that are the content distributors, and when they have the content producers. So people will produce content, but before that goes out, we've got somebody that is well-trained, that we've poured a lot of time into, to make sure that that content that's going out from there is good, that there aren't spelling mistakes, that it's not going to be some, you know, a bad thing for your business.
Right.
So there are some of those great layers that are built into that is good to look for when you look for a marketing team, and that the reason why you need a team versus just one person, because it really is a team job.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
No one person can do it all. It's physically, scientifically impossible. I have yet to come across anyone in this industry who can say, hi, I am a content marketer, and I can do it all myself. I can Pinterest, and I can blog, and I can...
That is a red flag.
You can try, but it is a red flag, and they're probably not doing it well.
Absolutely, and I think it's very similar to what you're saying about the business coaches. Okay, so I'm going to charge you, and again, that's another red flag. If you're getting quotes that are astronomically expensive for you to market your business in a content-based way, that should be a very big red flag, because honestly, it is not an unattainably expensive thing. It can be we work within people's budgets, and that's a really big red flag. So you want to make sure that if you're having a conversation with somebody, that they're not saying, well, I'm an SEO person and I'm a social media person, but they can kind of come at it from a holistic approach with what is the ammunition we want to work with that's going to be content.
I did want to hit another red flag that I think is helpful for people, is that there is no magic bullet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there is no magic bullet. If someone comes to you and says, Facebook's going to revolutionize your business, that's a red flag.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Because there is no magic bullet. It takes thought, it takes time. You have to look through this stuff comprehensively. So, you know, there are fads that happen. You know, the latest thing is going to come out, whether that's, you know, Pinterest or Snapchat, whatever it is. But if we go back to that principle that I shared earlier of the sharing great information, so if you're sharing great information
consistently,
you're building your authority, then no matter what the fad is, you're going to be able to channel that authority through that fad.
Right.
That's what
Absolutely.
really content marketing is about.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm an authority, I'm an expert, get that out there. Now I can channel this through this tactic. And the tactics
Right.
are the fads that come out.
I think that's awesome. And I want to have one more question, but I want to stop for just a minute and kind of segue to something you just said. I'm authoritative. I'm the authoritative figure. I'm an expert. I remember years ago when Jeff and I first got married and I married into photography, I walked around a convention in Vegas and I could see that the photographers just needed help. Like that you could see it was old school mentality. They weren't marketing and business people. They were creative people. And I said, I'm going to publish a book and it's going to be a marketing book geared towards photographers. And he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, you don't know anything about photography. And it's like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
If you take the authoritative figure
Absolutely.
and you do that, and I did. We published 9 books and I traveled the country and taught a lot because I saw a need. 2 things I want to play off of that. If you believe you are an authoritative figure, you can make other people believe that too. But that's the catch-22 situation that you get into when hiring somebody that is, I'm not trashing business consultants or coaches or anybody that's in sales. If you are trying to make money and you're struggling with your business and somebody sells you this, you're going to be more likely to jump at it. But take the time to research them, to analyze it, and make yourself the authority figure, but analyze everybody else to prove that they actually are.
Absolutely.
Which is what's important.
Absolutely.
Now, when we first met, we told you about WOAMTEC Live, and one of the things that I said was it's sometimes hard to get guests on the show. Like it's amazing how hard it is. And you said something, Joe, that I want you to share with the audience. If somebody's watching today, why should they sign up for one of these segments, and how, when we give you that, not only that footage, and you can of course add too, but I loved his response to that not only your footage, your individual clip, but the entire footage, how does positioning you with Don Peachy help or change things in that big ball, that internet world?
Yeah, so I'll try to conceptualize this with a thought that I have about it, is that if you think about the internet in this big glob of stuff, and you
Very elegantly put.
Thank you. I practiced that one. And you think about in this stuff that there are all these points of light that you think about in the galaxy of stars or whatever. The more information that you're putting out, your star gets brighter. Okay, and the more people that are connected to your star, the brighter you get, the brighter they get. And so when you put a video out on YouTube, for example, you have created a valuable piece of content that sits on a site that's owned by Google. So they're going to give you some really good
Some brownie points.
No one can prove that, of course, but it's there. And then the fact that it's also related to, like you said, Don Peachy. So you have these connection dots between this information, and what that does is it starts to again build your credibility. So the fact that you guys are offering this is amazing because it's what we call rich content.
Yes.
Because not anybody is just going to be able to produce a video and talk as an expert on things, and so that's a way that Google starts to analyze who's the authority and who's not. So the fact that this is happening is a good way to tell the search engines and other people in the internet world that you're an authority figure. So this is, it's a great opportunity, and I would encourage you guys, if you haven't done it yet,
Absolutely.
Get with Kathleen, get with Jeff, make it happen, because this is very valuable to your internet marketing efforts.
Absolutely.
And it's really not that hard, is it?
It's not that scary.
No.
It's not scary.
It's not scary.
Thank you all for sharing and for being here, and I hope to have you back because I know there's some other things that we want to talk about with branding and things like that.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate it very much, and I know that you are going to give away a prize. So the first person to contact, well, tell them about it.
Well, the first person who contacts us through our website, which is www.winwithvictory.com, will get a 2-hour one-on-one consultation. We can help walk you through getting that plan and that marketing strategy in place, and just give you some tips and encouragement, and we'd love to partner with you, even if it's just for 2 hours. And so we can do it virtually. We can do a Skype. Whatever it looks like for you would be convenient. And go ahead and just contact us. We'd love to hear from you. Our information, like I said, is on our website. So just the first person to contact us gets that 2 hours.
Well, Gina Mounts already said she wanted a blog, or she needs a blog. So Gina, get on it, girlfriend. Do it now. You are also both going to be speaking at the Confident Woman Conference.
Yes,
and
we're
really
so
excited about that.
honored to be able to do that. We're
tell
really
us
excited.
what your topic is. Tell them why they should sign up for day 2.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're going to go into further detail and further depth about
Absolutely.
this, actually give you some very practical, hands-on what you can do to build your
Yes.
authority, become that credible figure. Those practical tips are going to be key. So we're going to be expounding on some of those things.
That's
Consider
awesome.
this a teaser.
A teaser.
Yeah.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for coming out and teasing our audience. We are so excited to have you here. And it's